on your front porch, sipping sweet tea. But there is nothing ordinary about small town grace and basement hangs and being known so well it's scary. My roots are found at the bottom of the Appalachians. They've been sown in coal and watered by a bottle of bourbon. I can't cut them off when I'm just now learning my roots were made to grow into this bluegrass I call home. La-di-da-di-da-da-da-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Is this too good to be true? La-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Look at all these folks who believe in you. My roots are found at the bottom of the Appalachians. They've been sown in coal and watered by a bottle of bourbon. I can't cut them off when I'm just now learning my roots were made to grow. My roots were made to grow into this bluegrass I call home.
Do I look fucked up?
Not at all. You look fabulous. I love the
Okay,
hat.
I just burned myself, my eye with hot grease, and I feel like it made me look like I'm high. I mean, I'm also a little bit high,
Perfect.
but
Perfect.
and my job is just like that. I'm like, oh, okay, I just figured it out. My coworkers stay getting me high, so it's really fun.
I mean, that's fine. I actually had to do an interview at one point. I completely forgot, and I had my vape, and I came home, and I was going to chill out, and then I took a few vapes, and then out of nowhere, the guy's like, hey, we're about to get in an interview, right? And I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. No, I have literally one time did a radio interview, and I was like, high as shit, and I was literally in the middle of fisting my partner and was fully on poppers, fully poppered out, and this alarm went off for this interview, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. It was I have to pull it together so quick. I'd run out of bed and put clothes on. It was awful.
I mean, some people don't even know that I get high on in private, and that episode went out when I was interviewing with this person, and they kept messaging me like, "Dude, you sounded so nervous. What was wrong?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I was real nervous, man. I was so nervous.
I was so scared." Just stoned.
Yep.
Nothing, just stoned.
I do have a bunch of notes here that I want to
cool.
talk to you about, but if they diverge whatsoever.
Sure.
I guess I want to start off with hello.
Hi.
You may not know me. I definitely know you from your music. I actually found your music last year when I was living in Kentucky in Mount Sterling through
Oh my God.
Yeah, through one of my coworkers. I think their name was Destiny.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They told me about that. That's awesome.
Not to gush, I literally love your music so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It is insane how much I have related to it, first of all, because more or less I'm from Kentucky, Mount Sterling specifically.
Oh, cool.
And well, for a while it was uncool for me.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm also from Mount Sterling.
Yep.
And I hate it. I'm so glad to be out of there and not going back.
I mean, that was actually part of the reason why I related to your music so much, was because someone who is from that type of area, and to also be the type of person that I am, which I don't know if you can tell, I still have a hard time saying that out loud, because it's like, who's hearing what it would.
Mm,
I have been kind of in that same type of queer persecution, especially with my family, because they're from
mm,
Kentucky. And
yeah.
yeah, and so I think that's kind of where I wanted to start. Let me, just so I know where I have all my
Yeah,
notes
no,
here.
no worries.
A lot of this conversation is going to be about queerness and whatnot. So if
Oh
uh,
yeah.
if you're uncomfortable with anything, but we did start off the conversation with you talking about fisting your partner, so I think we're good.
I'm pretty gay. I'm
Hmm.
pretty unashamedly gay, and I'm really proud of that.
And I am working to get there. A lot
Hell
of my
yeah.
family members don't know that I am, for obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
if they ever support my work, they're gonna find out this way. Hey, how you doing? Uh,
Oh, slay.
this is going to be going on our live stream for a fundraiser thing, support for our short film musical. It's a sequel,
Oh yeah.
Halloween
Cool.
musical. And I think I'll ask you with a little like softball question. What are your favorite musicals, or
Oh
if
my
you have
god.
any? Yep.
Oh my god. Okay, I love musical theater. I musical theater was my first love. Actually, I'm so glad you started off with this question. And I feel like it has really influenced my songwriting. Like I just love drama, and I love like musical theater composition. My absolute favorite musical is Rent. It has literally no other piece of art has shaped my life more than that show. Ever.
I haven't seen Rent. All I know
Oh
is
my god. You're if you want to get gayer and you want to be like more unashamedly, like please, you have to watch Rent. I cannot I cannot overstate this enough. That show has shaped me.
is Rent gay?
Literally. Oh, honey. Yeah, literally everybody has AIDS and like that's the whole plot.
Wait,
It's like literally takes place in the 90s in New York City.
okay, that just kind of sent me back to Team America in the opening scene where they were saying everybody has AIDS. That one musical from Team
It's
America.
Rent. Or it might
Oh,
be Falsettos too, which
oh,
is another one of my favorite musicals. I really love Falsettos. I really love In Trousers, which is the prequel to Falsettos, because it was originally 3 1 acts. Are you familiar with Falsettos?
no,
Oh,
I'm keeping a track of things I'm gonna have to watch after this.
okay. My other one of my other favorites is Spring Awakening, which is also super queer. Um, Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Oh my god, Hedwig and the Angry Inch is one of my biggest. Let me show you something.
Okay, yeah,
I
go
got
grab
this
it.
art in New Orleans. This is how much I love this musical. So this is my like print that I keep above my piano that I got from this artist in New Orleans, and then this is my guitar that I named Hedwig.
Is that like your go-to?
This is for right now. It is, yeah. I'm like really changing up my sound. So this is my go-to guitar now. But yeah, I love Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And then I also really love Company. I really love Stephen Sondheim. So I love Company. I love Into the Woods. Anything that Patti LuPone has ever been in ever. And I got to see her on Broadway, and it changed my whole life. And Funny Girl, and I got to see Leah Michelle in Funny Girl, and it was like incredible. So yeah, I could literally talk about musicals for this whole
Well,
interview.
I'm a wannabe for musical theater because my dad forced me to be in wrestling all 4 years of high school, and I wanted to be in theater so bad, and I felt
Wait,
like
did you go to Montgomery County?
no, I
Oh,
actually
okay.
moved up here to Illinois, and I was still facing like that type of thing. I was in the hills of Jackson, Kentucky, in Lynn Fork, and I would like go back and
Oh, okay.
yeah, I would go back and forth with Mount Sterling. A lot of my family lives in Mount Sterling,
Okay, cool.
and
Heard.
I lived there for like 8 months last year, and it was insane. Uh,
Mm,
I don't just the fire and brimstone preaching of my younger
yeah.
generation childhood, reliving that and going, oh, so that's what that means. They hate me. All right, perfect.
Yeah,
Um,
literally.
well, I was gonna say my favorite musical because I just started getting into musicals, being unapologetic, like you say. and like very basic stuff that I started, like Hamilton. I love Be More Chill. Love Be More Chill so much.
I can take it or leave it, to
Yeah,
be honest.
listen, I have a high school thing. I love high school like
Okay.
fiction, and I love the Be More Chill, and Pitiful Children is one of my favorite songs in that. So,
Cool.
and I started Heathers. I got into as well.
I like
Just like
others.
I have all my friends who are musical majors trying to like funnel me into.
Yeah, let me like send you a couple playlists.
Please do, please. That's actually
I have
how I
some
find them.
highly curated musical theater playlists.
Please do as soon as you can.
Awesome.
Uh,
Hell yeah.
but I'll move on to the other thing. Let me see. I have it right here. Oh yeah, so yeah, I found you through a coworker when I was working in Mount Sterling, kind of
Yeah.
hiding my true self when I was down there, and just being surrounded by all of these different, let's just say very straight white men. And so when Destiny showed me your music, I started listening to it, and it was real. Like I really related to it, especially Roots. Roots was probably the one that got to me a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, I understand where I'm from. Could you tell me a little bit about, well, not just the Roots song, but the EP and where it came from?
Yeah, for sure. That feels like so long ago. I put that out when I was 16. I'm 21 now.
Yeah, it was 2018 when that came out.
Yeah, so it's like been a minute. I almost never play that song anymore because it doesn't feel true anymore. I wrote that song at a time when I was really, really in love with Appalachia for the first time in my life. Like I said, my first love was musical theater. And so I remember like as early as the age of 5 saying like, I'm going to move to New York City. Like I remember being like, I would literally rather live in a box in New York City than stay here.
Yeah.
And so like I was just like, I've got to get out. I remember like literally hiding my accent, like training my accent out of myself and like lying and saying that I was from New York. Like that's how bad I wanted to get out. And then when I was like around 14 or 15, I got really into traditional Appalachian music and started playing banjo and playing more like country and folk. And it was through that I first really like came to love and believe in Appalachia for the first time in my life. Because up until that point, it was just like, I've got to leave. There's no other option. And then through being exposed to traditional music and the history of it and the legacy of it, I started to see like, oh, there is some like beauty in this place. At the time, I was deeply Catholic and deeply closeted. And so it was really easy to delude myself into thinking that everything in Kentucky was sunshine and rainbows. And that is the place that the Roots EP came from, was that sort of like being like, oh my God, I've like taken this place for granted my whole life. And like now I get to like love it for the first time. That's not how I feel anymore, because that town has hurt me more than I could even explain to you with words. And that is what my whole next record is about, is that feeling of deeply loving a place and believing in a place and then watching that place turn its back on you. Because I did feel that way about Kentucky for about 2 years. And then I fell in love with a woman for the first time and came out, and the whole thing got flipped on its head. And so that's been my experience, is like really, really loving and believing a place, wanting to stay even. And then just realizing like I literally am unable, like it is unsafe and impossible for me to stay, and realizing that it's okay to give up on something.
See, my partner is trans, masc, non-binary, and I was trying to explain them the other day that where I came from is a very beautiful place, but it's very filled with people who don't understand that beauty is the same as loving something. You know, they're very hate-filled, especially about things they don't understand. If they have like multiple hair colors, and if they walk down there, they would feel incredibly unsafe. And I never want to bring them down there for that reason, even though it's a very beautiful place. But the EP that you created because of that is very titled perfectly. It's Good Riddance. Good Riddance was the first one I listened to. I went back and I re-listened to Roots because I'm obsessed with the year 2018 with music.
Oh, cool. Hell
yeah.
yeah.
But Good Riddance has, well, I'll let you guess if you want. I have in my notes, but it's one I listened to, and it's what made me fall in love with your music. I related to like every song, and if I didn't relate to it specifically, I was like, this is so, like, forgive me for the word, but cinematic. Some of the songs on there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That actually, that means a lot. What you said about like your obsession with like high school fiction and stuff, I feel like my high school experience was very cinematic, really picturesque. Like I said all the time, I feel like I'm literally living in a John Hughes film. And so that's what Good Riddance is about, is that feeling and how grandiose I felt at 15 and 16 and 17 with my friends. So that means a lot to me. Thank you.
I mean, Here's to High School. I was obsessed with that song because I do an audio drama, TTRPG audio drama called Puzzle Valley. It's this logo right here. It's a murder.
Cool.
It's a high school teen detective story based in Puzzle Valley, and it has a lot to do with LGBT kids and like sexuality, coming of age. And I put a lot of work into it. And for a while there, I was trying to figure out a way how I could cram Here's to High School into the finale of.
Oh, that's so cool.
But it's so filled with stuff, and I already want to like ask you to use one of your songs in a future project I have.
Hell yeah.
Could you? It's my favorite song you've done. Could you take a guess at which one you think it is?
It's a State Line.
It's State Line. Okay, yeah.
That's like most people's favorite, to be honest. Yeah.
I'll meet you at State Line. I'll meet you at the State Line. Meet you at State Line if I can see you tonight. Meet you at State Line if I can see you tonight. I'll meet you at State Line if I can see you tonight.
I hazard a guess at a time where I didn't like start getting like misty-eyed towards the end of that. Like,
thank you.
When you like hit that last beat, the moon. I just like in my head, I imagined like the hands up to the sky of the moonlight when you hit that last note, and it's so good every time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's all true. Like all of this literally happened to me, which is really cool. And the person that's about, that song has changed meaning for me so much, because when I wrote it, I was like, thought that I was in love with this person, and now they're like one of my best friends, and like we realized like we're both gay, and we knew that at the time, but it was like a weird, we had both just been through breakups, and there was just some very confusing things happening, and I was like fully thought I was in love. So it started out as kind of like a heartbreak song, and now that I'm still like best friends with this person, it's like it's a testament to how queer love can change and like take different forms, and how like love doesn't just go away, it just like changes shape. So yeah, I love playing that song. It's so fun to sing.
Well, when I found out that you were on tour, I was trying to figure out if there was any way I could come see you live, because I saw some of
Cool.
I saw some of your YouTube videos that you put out of the live songs. And forgive me for saying this, but like some of those crowds did not give you the respect that you deserved.
I've literally like the only really great gigs that I've had in Kentucky have been like Pride festivals.
Oh, 100%.
That's, I feel like, the only places where I actually am like received well, and like people respond to my music. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, I want to go home. Like, I'm so ready to go home. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I've definitely had some very lackluster crowds in my time.
There was one that you put out more recently. It was at a bar or something like that. But I was listening to it with my partner in bed, and I was just like, this is some like really emotional filled stuff, and no one was just like giving you the time of day. And I was like upset about that for you.
Oh, thank you. Was it like Bluegrass Barrel House?
Yeah.
I was literally scared for my life. That was the worst gig I have ever played.
Tell me what it means to love a place that don't
That was the worst I've ever sounded. I swear to God, because it was like I walked in and it was like this aggressively straight bar. There was like a Blue Lives Matter flag and
Ooh,
a
yep.
rebel flag, and I was like, I'm literally gonna fucking die. Like I'm gonna get shot here. And I was up there like playing all these like gay songs, and it was just all these like straight men staring me down. And at the end, the bartender was like literally yelling at me to stop.
What?
It was really bad. It was really bad. I'm so sorry you watched that. I hate that it's on YouTube. I did not upload it. There was like one old man in the audience that was paying attention, and he's the one that uploaded it. He's really sweet.
I mean, I think I hate that for you, but I also respect that greatly because in the face of so much, well, hatred that we have today, even though people choose to ignore it and choose to pretend like it's not happening, there's a lot of hatred and there's a lot of impeding on people's rights to just exist, which
for sure.
Which is why, like, with my the audio drama I was talking about, it was always supposed to be a queer story, but because I was closeted when it first started, because I worked on it for 5 years, it's based in 2018, which is why I'm obsessed with the year.
Cool.
But because of that, I tried to pretend like it wasn't for a long time until eventually it came. Like I just like, yeah, okay, guys, yeah, I'm gay. All right, like calm down. Yeah, it's my coming out story in fiction because I'm a writer, and I really loved it. And I have it on my skin. It's my favorite thing that I work on. It's all of that. But the reason I felt like it needs to come more to the face of reality, and for a lot of people, is because there needs to be more gay representation because a lot of people feel unsafe in locations.
Yeah.
And then I'll move on to this one. You describe your music as queer banjo pop with country flair. For a lot of people, they see country as anti-gay. My co-host, Punk and Nonstop Nate, who's going to help me with the short film, when I told him I wanted to have you on for an interview to like put on the live stream, he was like hesitant because he also grew up in a rural area where it's like country, pride, we got big tires, but when I explained your vibe and everything like that, he was a lot more gung ho for it. Do you have similar feelings about country, or has it changed at all as a queer person?
No, the country music scene is incredibly homophobic, and I don't want to play country music anymore at all.
Really?
That's the tea. Yeah.
Is that why you're changing your sound?
Yeah. I have lost every single connection that I've had in the Kentucky music scene since I came out.
Really?
My career was like way more successful 5 years ago than it is right now. And it's literally because I came out as gay.
See, now this is why it's important to build people and to network with more queer people, because we're all we have.
Yeah, I just literally feel like I can't get booked here. Like I can't get booked at any venue over 100 people. And it's like the places that, with the exception of, I'm really grateful to the Kentucky Pride festivals that book me every year again and again and again. I even have a couple this year that are like, that have asked me to play, and I'm like, I'm moving to New York, and they're like gonna fly me out, which is amazing. And like that gig we were talking about earlier, at the Bluegrass Barrel House, it's like, did I want to play at a bar that's like got those views? Absolutely not. But I don't ever know who's in that audience. There could be some deeply closeted person who, seeing me be my like openly queer, unapologetic self on a stage is like what makes them feel like they've been set free enough to like finally come out and stop hating themselves. When I'm playing like these like little Kentucky Pride festivals, even if it feels like nobody's listening, which actually those gigs, that's not really a thing, like those are great crowds, but like there could be some young queer out there, some young like trans person that's just like desperate for representation. Like I remember clinging to any visibly trans or queer person that I saw as a child, and it was like so rare. It was so rare. And so I like clung to media, like I clung to musical theater, and I watched Glee all the time, and like got whatever little shreds of representation I could. But like, if I can be that for somebody else, that's the whole point. That's the whole point for me.
I mean, 100%. I remember when I first looked you up, there was videos I found of you doing TED Talks and talking about Appalachia.
Yeah.
And talking, the one that I really, and I hope this doesn't offend you, bring up bad memories or anything. I remember looking up one and someone commented saying like, "You guys don't understand the type of like sick person you're listening to right now," and because they're like, someone replied to that and said, "Why? What are you talking about? Look up what they're doing with sex ed, trying to teach sex ed to children. Gross." And I looked that up, and I was like, it's the most badass, like, cool thing I've seen. It was an article I read about you where it was sexy sex ed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't even just for the LGBT community that you were helping. You were helping all of these people that need sex ed.
Yeah.
Because sex ed is so terrible everywhere across the board because of purity culture.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that was like a thing that I did mostly in high school, but from like the age of 16, I think I got trained to do queer inclusive and like comprehensive sex ed. And we did workshops throughout Appalachia, community-led workshops. And then the Manhattan Project, which is this like right-wing newspaper, found out about us and did this big expose and called us all child groomers and used my full name and my face and my bio from the website and doxed me. And then Ben Shapiro made a video of my face as the thumbnail. And for like 3 months, my life was absolute chaos. And my partner had to like run my social media and like filter all the messages because I was just getting like death threats every day. It was terrifying. It was awful. And then it like got back to my hometown and somebody took it to the school board. And I started Mount Sterling's like first ever gender sexuality alliance at the high school. And somebody like took it back to the school board and was like, "You all need to shut down this club because it's clearly like a child grooming ring." I had been graduated for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I had not been in that school building for 3 years. And they were trying to shut down something that I started 3 years later because of an article that's literally like untrue. So it's just like, those are the types of things that I'm talking about when I'm like, yeah, some places are just worth giving up on.
Yep.
Like I cannot be there anymore.
It's not good for your mental health, and
no.
But I think it's important to talk about what that does to you, or like what you went through in order to make this happen, because a lot of people are so ignorant to the fact that this hatred exists everywhere. I know a lot of my family members are just like, why does this matter? Why does representation matter? Why are you trying so hard to like do this? You're just making everybody upset. And it's like, why are you upset and uncomfortable? Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
But as much trauma as you went through with that, I just want to say I am so thankful and grateful and proud of you for doing that, because
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's very important. Here, I told this to my partner. This is how bad sex ed is like, until I was a junior in high school, I was so insecure because I thought the average size of penises were the size of a tube sock, because of a scene I saw in American Pie when the dad saw he was masturbating into something. He's like, well, at least it's not a tube sock. So I thought penises were the size of a tube sock, and I was so insecure.
That is so sad.
Exactly.
Oh,
but like, this is why it's not even just for LGBT people, but like sex ed is very important just for someone's insecurities or self-esteem or whatever.
Right.
Especially in Mount Sterling, because I know it's insane, the type of purity culture.
I don't even remember my sex ed, but I know it was unhelpful, and I know that gay sex was not mentioned at all.
Nope.
At all.
Oh my god, when I was in high school, I would like not to. Well, you were talking about stuff. I'll get out. I would randomly fantasize about the only openly gay kid in high school, and I'd be like, "This isn't gay. It's fine. I'm
not gay.
Yeah, whatever. It's okay."
It's so funny.
But to get a little bit more on track, how has your opinion on music in general changed since you began making music all those years ago? Are you like every other artist I know and see every mistake more clearly the more you practice? Or do you appreciate it for what it is?
I feel like this is like, I'm in a really bad place to be answering this question, because to be honest, I just went on like a 6-week tour. I'm super burned out.
Yeah.
Like I touring was not what I expected. And it was really rough. Like, it was just really exhausting. And I also wasn't playing my own music. I was playing backup for someone. But I think in general, I do feel like I'm more perfectionistic about my own work. I also think that having a body of work out, like in public, makes it more difficult to, like, you feel like you have a standard to live up to. Like, I have a precedent out already, and it's like, well, what if the next thing I make isn't received as well? Or what if it's not? What if I don't think it's as good? So I think it makes it a little bit, like, there's a little more pressure on me, even though it's, like, not real. Something that's really helped me with that is, like, I don't just consider myself a musician. I just feel like I'm a creative in general. I do a lot of writing. Like, I started a memoir this year. I was writing, like, 1,000 words a day minimum for, like, 6 months. And I also, like, journal every day. And those things are just for me. Like, I don't know if I'll ever actually use any of that writing, if I'll ever put it out in the world. But it is so gratifying to have a creative outlet that I don't put any pressure on yet. And I think that has helped me kind of, like, keep music more balanced. Because it's different just playing music for fun than it is doing it as a career.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
As someone who also writes things for my audio drama, like Eldric Journeys, I'm screenwriting the short film, the Season of the Curse 2 musical. It is tough because you read through every line that you write and you go, and you don't necessarily see the quality in it until you figure things out much later down the line.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that I write that, like, doesn't make sense to me for a while. I'm like, I actually don't know what this means. And then I figure it out later.
Working on Puzzle Valley for the 5 years that I was, it all just, like, comes together towards the end. And I feel proud about it now, but at the time I was like, oh no, man, every time I did something for it, I was like, I don't know about that. But over time, you get to that spot where you're actually more proud and understanding of your work. And I think I do need a more of an outlet where I don't put so much pressure on me for writing, as you said. I think that's very helpful. Touring, it burnt you out. Do you feel like you're going to go tour again, or do you feel like you're going to go do something a little bit different?
What I really want is to be a New York City doll and just literally be able to, like, work in the city. And that's it.
Yep.
That's really what that's honest to God what I want. I want to sleep in my bed every night with my partner and my cat in New York City and never leave. Yeah. So that's what I want. I want to be just, like, playing New York clubs all the time. I know I'll go on tour again. It's just, like, I mean, I'm actually kind of, like, going on tour next month. I have a bunch of Pride festivals that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, really what I want is to be able to, like, be a local artist in New York. I used to really want to be, like, a local artist in Kentucky. Now I want to do it in New York. But I'm touring next month. I'm going to Detroit. I'm playing Lexington Pride, and I'm playing Richmond Pride, and I'm playing, I think, somewhere in, like, Danville, Kentucky. So I'm doing, like, a little mini tour, and hopefully playing Columbus. I'm looking for a place in Columbus.
Damn, you're skipping right over Chicago. You're going, like, right through Chicago to Detroit.
Yeah, I have no motivation to book gigs, to be completely honest. So it's like Detroit Pride literally booked me a year in advance.
Wow. Okay.
So I was like, okay, like, I will definitely play for y'all.
Damn.
I feel like I have another Pride, but yeah, it's literally my favorite gigs to play is Pride.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
the best gigs are the ones where it's actually 15 drag queens and I'm the only person that plays music, because then I'm unique. So people are like, slay, like, this little thing is good. And then also, it's literally just, like, 2 hours of me in the back zipping up drag queens. And I love it. There's nothing better.
I think the first time I saw a drag show, I was so uncomfortable, only because I'm not super used to being open around a bunch of people. And then the drag queen came down and started flirting with me and just, like, being very... like touching me, and I was like, okay, now I'm at ease. Now I'm good.
Yes, I love that.
It was in an adult club. I just want to put it so no one takes that out of context real quick. It was in an adult club. Drag queens are not groomers, you fucking idiots. Hateful idiots.
Yes, period. No, drag is all about like setting people free. And I think especially when you're in that space of being closeted and you're a little more insecure about your queerness, it can be really like confronting. Honestly, to be like, oh, this person is so themselves and is so confident about it, and I'm so not, and that can be really uncomfortable.
I mean, that's the most important part of, I think, pride is just to have pride in yourself when we have just not for the longest time in our lives.
Yeah.
What is your new sound? What do you think you're going to come? Because you went from Roots, you went to Good Riddance to say goodbye to the Roots, and you're going forward into the future. You have a new sound. What do you think your future holds?
Yeah, so the next record is called Simple Southern Life. It's finished. I'm just trying to find a label to pay for it because I don't have the money to make it. And I still haven't made my money back on the last record. I'm waiting on a label. So if anybody's out there and you want a really gay record, get in contact.
That's what the live stream is for. That's what we're doing for the sequel. We're like, give us some money because I took a hit on it last time.
Yes. No, I totally understand. But yeah, my new sound, it's very spacey. It's really like, so it's some mix of like Bleachers, the band Bleachers, and then like Roscoe Holcomb, who's like a banjo player from the 1800s, and like Maggie Rogers, and then Peter Allen, who's a like gay icon, Australian showman. I like love him. So it's a lot of, those are like some of the biggest influences. So it's a lot of like synth, a lot of synth. Banjo, a lot of like layered vocals. Then I've been like compulsively recording conversations, and like just occurrences of my life since I was like 14. And so I'm editing in some of those little conversation pieces.
You're talking to an audio engineer. That is so like, I love that when you just throw in little things from years past.
Yeah, I've got some like bird sounds that I'm like incorporating as like synth and so harmonium. Like it's just gonna be really weird. And definitely like influenced by folk music and acoustic music, but a much more grandiose sound than just that.
Like how excited I am looking forward to this, because I didn't know you were having a new sound, but I love synth. I love like dream stuff. I am looking so forward to hearing who you are now.
Yeah, I'm so excited. This summer tour in Detroit and Columbus, I'm gonna have a guitar player with me. And so we're really excited. And I'm also going to be playing fiddle a lot in the set, but like through pedals and kind of like making it more synthy, giving it more of like a fuller sound with reverb and everything. I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm looking forward to having a full band too once I move to New York.
I mean, I have envy of musicians for that like whole atmosphere. So I am looking forward to seeing that creative process come together. But I just want to say thank you for joining me for this conversation.
Yes, thank you so much.
Been very exciting. I hope to work with you in the future at some point. I might send you a PM and be like, hey, I got this project. I might want to ask
Happy to help, yeah.
Cut it, but legitimately, thank you so much. I have legitimately been listening to Good Riddance on repeat since I heard it last year. I love that album or EP.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
So good to meet you.
It's good to meet you too. You are definitely not who I thought you were going to be, but I am so happy you are who you are.
Were you expecting like much more like country normal person?
A little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm like kind of a wild, crazy son of a bitch.
That's what I love, though. That's what I love. Oh, yeah, no, I love when people are just unapologetically themselves. I get so jealous of it.
I'm just super gay. It was so good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, it was great talking to you, too. All right. I'll let you go. I hope you have a better night, and I cannot wait to hear more about your album.
Yes, I'll talk to you soon. If I'm ever in Chicago, I'll let you know.
Oh, please do. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. I just found a new queer gay best friend. Thank you so much.
Season of the Curse 2.
Blessings to the ones who stayed the path. If you didn't